Well, hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Life Coach Access, your daily access with professional certified life coaches brought to you by Life Coach Philippines. Life Coach Philippines is our community of professional life coaches certified by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneur, a bona fide institute for mental health that's based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And Life Coaching Access is our service to the community, and we aim to help individuals experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. If you want to know more about our international coaching services and classes, please connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 for assistance. I am Coach Shaun for Inner Game, bringing out the in me. Knowing thyself is the beginning of wisdom, and that is what I do to help individuals. The more you know about yourself, the more intentional you are going to be in your decisions, in your relationship, in the work you do, in the business that you do, so that you live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. And I do this, your access with me is every Friday at 10 a.m. in the morning. So we've been discussing for the last couple of months already, and I'm sharing to you how you can bring out the you in there so that you can align, you can bring out your heart and so it aligns to your outer game as well. For this segment today, I will be sharing to you the discipline of men in relationship. And today we're going to talk about fatherhood and learn how to discipline yourself so that you may live on mission, di ba? As fathers, yung mga tatay dyan, we always want to make sure that we're able to help, our spouse, help our children so that they can have a better life than we have. Yun naman yung tayo, di ba? As dads, is we want to be able to influence our children. We want to be able to teach our children. We want to be able to guide our children for them to be successful so that they may also live a meaningful and fulfilling life. So please tag your friends in the comment section below. So tag them or invite them to join our conversation. You may also share this FB page. This is FB Live and your timeline and FB groups and page so that we can reach more people and help transform lives. So let's help those dads out there, especially those na who wants to level up their relationship with their children, because yun naman yung heart natin, di ba? Is to be able to continuously support our children for the better future. Hello? All right. Leonard, thank you. Thank you for joining me. All right. So, as we always say here in Life Coach Access, be intentional, get your hashtag pack your bag moments and put in this hashtag as well. Hashtag pack your bag moments is you sharing your takeaways, sharing your learning, sharing the things that you are able to resonate with. You're able to connect with that thought or that idea or that wisdom for us to be able to bless the digital space. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that we're able to post that in our timeline. It's twofold. One, we help other people read through it as well and they get inspired. And two, it's a great memory reminder for us. Facebook always have this yearly or daily reminder of your memories. It's a great way next year for you to get reminded that, hey, this is something that I've learned during this day and during this time and this moment. All right. So get it in there, be intentional, just find one. Maybe you have something that you're asking for. Maybe you have something that you have your thought in there that you're trying to figure out how you're gonna move forward with that. So be intentional, get that one thing and put in there hashtag pack my bag moments, life coach access, and hashtag the inner game for you to bless more people. If this is the first time you're joining me, if this is the first time you're watching me, I am Coach Shaun. I'm a professional life coach certified from the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneur. I am also a mental health coach, and our institute is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And one of my strengths is humor. I love to make people laugh. I love to tell jokes. And people would laugh not at my jokes but with me. Oo, sa akin. Kasi hindi ako mukhang nag-joke, di ba? I'm a serious type. Someone who's serious. And I'm doing this coaching profession full-time since I left the corporate world back in 2019 after 14 years of successful career in the call center industry. That is where I really thrived as far as my career is concerned. That's where I started my life. Well, it's the second job that I have, but it's really where I went full throttle there and I became successful in my last company. And I am on a mission to help 1 million men who are longing from wandering to wondering. Maybe you know someone who's trying to figure out what they want to do in life. Maybe they, there's uncertainty in their life, there's unknown, and they're not clear of what they wanted to do. If you know someone, let's help them. Let's create a tribe for them. Create a community for them and help them transform their life so that they can start wandering towards a goal, a vision, their mission, and the future that they want to create for themselves, especially for their children. So if you are someone who wants to create a more meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling life, no, come join me. I would love to partner with you, and let's help these people. Let's help the future generation as well, because that is something that I want to do. I want to be able to, empower the future generation to have the proper skills, the proper knowledge, the proper mindset, the proper habits for them to thrive in their life. Not because I want them to be like me. No, that's not what I want. I want them to be like them. For them to be able to express themselves, to be clear of what they want, to put everything on the table so that when they have a relationship, when they go into marriage, when they start having children, they would know how to help the individuals and how to support them and to respond positively. All right. So just to recap on week number one, that was last February 5th, I talk about the discipline of purity. I talk about how to hold yourself accountable, how to pray, memorize scriptures, renew your mind, put hedge around you, be real and authentic with yourself, and be aware of your desires. Because if you are focused on that, then all of the things that you will do in life will be intentional towards being a good person. Even at times, other people are not good in our surroundings. We continuously be good to ourselves and also the people surrounding us. And last week, I talked about, which is this was February 12th, I talk about the discipline of marriage, where I talk about how we need to be staying committed, how we need to live in fidelity, how to have for us to be able to communicate properly, elevate our spouse, make a difference, and make sure that we have time and romance for our spouse, because our spouse is someone that is a suitable helper for us, is someone that supports us along the way as we journey along, and we want to make sure that our spouses are really the one, supporting us, and we take care of them as well, because they are part of us and we are part of them as well. So taking care of them is like taking care of ourselves in the process. All right, so let's move towards the discipline of fatherhood. Why is it important for each and every one of the fathers out there, and the future dads in there as well, on why a discipline of fatherhood is important? Let me tell you a story. This is what you're seeing right now is an image of my daughter. My daughter just turned 19 yesterday. She's 19 years old, and my son there on the back is currently 15 years old and still studying. My daughter right now is stopped studying because she's working. She's working on her animation talents, and that's what we're doing. I remember a time when I was starting up. When I became a father, I was 19 years old. So I started my father being a father very very early in my life. So 19 years old back then, and that is something that you can never be prepared to be a dad ever, like never, 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 ever. Even if I have these vain thoughts of what a fatherhood is, I'm not really sure how to do it. Right? When I was still in college back then, so my focus back then was studying, di ba? Parang 19 years old, tapos wala pa naman sa vision ko for me to be a father. But that was what happened to me. I didn't need to make the most out of it. So when I was growing up, my dad is also not in we're from LA, by the way. If you know LA, it's not Los Angeles. It's in Legazpi, Albay, and you see Mount Mayon in there. My father is not there. My father works here in Metro Manila, so I never really had that father figure in me. I never had that someone that I can look up to and follow and ask, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Everything in me just seems to just go whatever the flow is, and I just do what I needed to do. And when I became a father, as I've said, I don't know what to do. Most of the things that I do for to teach my children discipline, if I'm not able to tell them or allow them to follow me, yung nagiging trigger ko doon, I get angry, is I either, shout at them, or yung worse, I spank at them. So I've been in that situation where I needed to, I had this physically abusive or verbally abusive to my children for them to be disciplined. But as I progressed in life, um, that one, I realized that what I was doing is extreme. Di ba? May mga extreme situation. I remember a time where I thrown my daughter because of a rage. Sobrang galit ko because my daughter have done something. Then that just woke me up and I realized, oh, what did I did? What did I do? That's not what a father should do. And from that point on, I started to change that because I started to realize that if I continue that kind of behavior, if I continue that kind of conversation with my children would do the same to their children. And that one just a spark of that thought. I said no, I need to change because if I do that, the future generation would have the same experience that I have. So I started changing. I started understanding where it's coming from. I came into a space of awareness. I came into a space of acceptance that it's something that I needed to change. And thank you, Mutya, for joining. Maraming salamat. Yes, happy birthday to Shaila. And I needed to make that change already because if you don't do that, minsan iisipin mo kasi coach ang kulit ng mga bata. Yes, makulit sila, but you were similar as that before as well. You were growing up na makulit, madaming tanong, 'di ba? Sometimes unruly, but aren't children supposed to be that way? Aren't children supposed to have a lot of questions so that we allow them to explore? We allow them to continuously really ask questions for them to learn, to get that knowledge, to get that wisdom. Di ba we need to allow our children as well to enjoy life? Di ba? Na pwedeng magulo, okay lang naman magulo, hindi naman araw-araw magulo. And when we were growing up, we were being disciplined by our parents not to, di ba, wag mag-asal bata, bawal umiyak. Di ba, may sinasabi sa atin ng ibang tao na pag lalaki hindi dapat umiiyak, pag lalaki dapat mas strong, dapat macho, dapat hindi ka ganyan na weak ka and so on. So, it closed all the emotional side of being a man because you're not able to connect emotionally to your children. Alam mo, pag-usapan muna natin yung mga bata dito and especially to yourself. Because each and every one of us, even for those moms and women watching out there, you have a child in you. Kaya lang kasi pag sinasabing child, you would say that it's that child is inconsiderate, it's unruly, maingay, but the child in you is the one that wants to enjoy life. A person who wants to, really be out there. A person who wants to be able to see life as beautiful as it is. But because of the influences, the expectations of society, the expectations of our parents, it's not that our parents are bad, huh? They just don't know better. I mean, they just don't know better. That's the way that they were taken care of, and that's the way that we would do as well. But you, on the other hand, we, on the other hand, have an opportunity to change how we, discipline our children. And as a father, as a man of the house, our children would always want someone that they can look up to, someone that they can boost or can boost their self confidence, can boost their self worth, can boost that, hey, a father is someone who's guiding me, and I know that whatever happens, my dad will help me through, my life. At until such time that you are called to go home back to God. So I ask for you to reflect on how are you currently as a father? How are you currently taking care of your children? What kind of conversation are you having with your children? And most especially, what kind of conversation are you having with yourself and to God? Because if you are clear with that, because iisipin mo, fatherhood is going, di ba, ikaw pa baba. There's also a father that we're always following, and that is something which is God, who's guiding us towards our life, and also our dad as well, who has been taking care of us on their own, little way. And sometimes we get disappointed because our expectation is not met of what a dad would be. But you can change that. you can change that for your children. And you don't need to wait for next week, for next month, for next year to make that change. Even today, as you see me in your screen, as you hear me, you have an opportunity to change things. In every moment in our lives, we can change, how we see our children and how we see their future. So I'm going to teach you the do's and don'ts of how to discipline your discipline as a father. Simple lang to. Do's and don'ts now. All right? First is we'll talk about the do nots. Do nots. Number one is do not be critical with your children. You know, a lot of parents that you would see criticizes their children. They're saying that they're not good, ang tanga nila, ang bobo nila, di ba? Or mataba sila, di ba? Or they're dumb, or they're stupid. Stop that. Don't do that. Because imagine if you are the one receiving those kinds of words. Like, how would you feel? Sinasabihan kang tanga ka, bobo ka, lagi ka na lang mali. Wala ka nang ginawang tama. Think about that kind of conversation that's being heard by your son, your daughter. And imagine if you are the one in that shoes. Di ba hindi maganda? So don't criticize. Give feedback, but don't criticize the negativity. You can highlight a behavior that's not of, not serving them, but focus on the behavior, not on the person. Because the behavior you can change. The person is, mababait naman yung mga bata eh. Kaya lang may mga kakulitan lang. At may mga times, hindi naman sila pare-parehas. So don't be critical. And when you do that, don't criticize them and focus lang on the behavior that needs to change. All right? Number two, do not be so over strict. Times we get too strict with our children. We become helicopter parents that we control our children what to do, what not to do, what to eat, what not to eat. Come on. Empower them. Give them an opportunity to struggle a little bit. So we set up, ang dami nating sineset up. We set up rules for them to do. We set up how they need to take care of their money, how to have friendship, how to have boyfriend, how to have girlfriend. We try to protect our children too much that we cripple them in the process. Because you're not gonna live for a long time. You will eventually leave this world. And if we're not empowering our children to make a decision for themselves, then kasi kanino sila aasa? Aasa ba sila dun sa relationship nila for that person to control them? Because most often than not, our children will find similar behaviors or character traits as their parents. So who are you right now? And how are you allowing your children to see what kind of relationship that they need to create? Something to think about. Number three, do not be irritable. I am not exempted here, by the way. I have started this talk that I have an anger management issues that at one time I get so triggered with a lot of different things. So people tell me I have a calm demeanor. Well, I change a lot, but before I didn't. I get angry. I get triggered. I really don't want people, or especially my children, not obeying me. And when we became irritable, at times we tend to lose sight of what's important to our children, which is time. Diba? Can you remember a time where your son or your daughter goes to you and asks you, Dad, or Daddy, Daddy? Tapos naiirita ka kasi dinidisturbo ka. Naiirita ka kasi busy ka. Naiirita ka kasi may ginagawa ka. Naiirita ka kasi nanonood ka ng Netflix. Tapos dinidisturbo ka. And we lose sight of how important is that. And you ask yourself question, bakit hindi ako kinukumusta ng mga anak ko? Why are my children not saying hi to me, talking to me? Are you talking to them? Are you engaging with them? Are you allowing them to be themselves? Or you're creating this space where dapat hindi ka pakailaman. Then you complain that your children are not talking to you. Right? Something to focus on. Thank you, Joanna, for joining. Coach Jade, maraming salamat. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate both of you joining here. Number 4, do not be inconsistent. As a father, do not be inconsistent. Because inconsistency is you're promising something that you will do and eventually you don't do it. Imagine being in that state where your daughter, your son is looking forward towards, "Uy, lalabas kami, pupunta kami ng sine." Well, hindi, pwede na ata manood ng sine ngayon. Or you go somewhere, then eventually you need to cancel because there are more important things that you need to do. What's more important than our children? Is it the work that you do? Is it the amount of money that you put in? That you put into the table. Sorry, let me just fix this. Is that amount of money there much more important than what you're given? Mas importante ba siya? Let me just fix my press mat. Hold on. There you go. Which one is more important? Is it the conversations more important than what's happening? Because you need to be consistent when you promise something to your children. Never promise a child that you will not keep. I've learned that the hard way. Because the expectation of my children reduced. And instead of them reaching out to me, talking to me, I'm not able to deliver that. And when I experienced that, that pained me. Because I have a clear image of what an unmet expectation is. It's painful. So I got that from, I remember a time when I was growing up that I wanted something and it was not given to me. But I had a clear expectation because they promised it. Then eventually it changed. Like, what is that? So masakit sa puso ng mga bata. So never be inconsistent. If you're not sure that you're gonna be able to deliver that, wag mo nang gawin. Don't promise anymore. Di ba? Just focus on what you can deliver. But don't be mediocre, ha? Don't be mediocre. Give fully with joy in your heart. Because that's the critical aspect of being a father. Now, for those women who's watching, I know you can relate as well, that we need to be committed when we are promising something to our children. Something that would help them grow, ha? That would help them grow and empower them to be better. Number 5, do not show favoritism. Do not show favoritism. I have experienced this too. When my daughter got born, nauna yung daughter ko, mas paborito, di ba pag lalaki, mas paborito yung mga daughter nila. I've realized that may mas, boto ako dun sa daughter ko compared to my son. And I noticed that when my son was growing up, because my son was more closer to my wife. And I cannot have a grip understanding of why was that. Because we have all our blind spots, right? We have some things that we don't see. Kaya lang kasi sa kayabangan, minsan, sa sobrang yabang, hindi natin na-realize na may mga ganun pala tayong hindi nakikita. Right? Treat your children alike. Treat your children alike. But not alike, they're not the same. Some might need more discipline than the other. Some might need more structure than the other. Some might need more independence than the other. Some might need some holding hands continuously until such time that they're ready to be alone. Diba? No child must be favored than the other. Never do that. You know why? Imagine when these children of yours have that experience and they grow up, they would have the same mindset. Have you ever experienced a time when your parents, showed favoritism to your other siblings? Maybe you have a sibling. Minsan iniisip mo siguro wala kang sibling, single, only son ka or daughter, but you're being compared to other children. Di ba? Parang may favoritism din dun. Parang, teka lang, anak mo ako bakit mas gusto mo yung anak dun sa kabila? Anong meron? And that is something that we need to be mindful of. That is something that a discipline of a fatherhood needs to have. Because the power of the fathers, di yung mga priest, yung mga datay na tulad mo, your power is awesome. Your power is so awesome that your children will take a look at you. Sometimes they would praise you just to get your affirmation. Just to get that simple I love you, na I care for you, or anak ko yan. Mga ganun na antay natin. And that is so powerful and it's so crippling at the same time because if our children are not getting that kind of love from a father, they ask themselves what is happening. Like something is missing in their life. And it's a crippling process. So think for a moment about how maybe your spouse is there. Yeah. Maybe you're a mom and your spouse is there and is trying to figure out, okay, how can I help my husband so that they can help my children? I'll give you the three do's that you can do. That you can start implementing agad-agad. Ganun na. Simple lang to. 3. Be tender. Be tender and bring them up. Bring them up means to nourish or feed them. Hindi po papakainin ha. Baka iniwan nyo sa kitchen. Instead na mag-grow sila, tumataba sila. Huwag ganun. I was like that before. My mom's used to cook sumptuous meal that I always go to the kitchen for me to eat. That's why I was a big boy before, fat boy before, pero pumayat na ako. Nourish and feed them. Feed them with care. Feed them with care like you're taking care of your own body. Now you might say, Coach, hindi ko naman inaalagaan yung body mo. Body ko. Oh, bakit? If your body suffers, what will happen to you? So bring them up. Feed them, nourish them with wisdom, with knowledge, with your experiences, because that is the most important thing that you can give to your children. It's not the amount of money that you will give. It's not the house that you will give to them when you die. It's not the cars. It's not the material things. What you can give to them as a dad is the tenderness of being a dad. And that is so powerful that it can change the course of your children's future. That is power. Being tender is power. Sinasabi nila being tender is not a soft man. No, I don't believe that. Tenderness is the greatest thing that you can instill to your children. That's number 1. Number 2, teach discipline. Train your child the way he or she should be. Not how you should or how you want them to be, ha? We need to change our mindset towards how we need to uplift our children. It needs to come to a space that we are helping them go back to their original design. This is not what you think they need to do. It's asking them what do they want to do. What is their heart desiring? Find what they were born to do or ought to be doing in this world. Because every one of us are born to do something in this world. You are born to do something great in this world. But the question is there, why are you not doing it? Because if you are not able to do what you're called to do in this world, that will be the same to your children. They would not be able to do that as well because they have this mindset that I need to be a doctor, I need to be a lawyer, I need to be an architect, I need to be an engineer, and this kind of stuff that society has dictated for you to measure what success is all about. And what is success to you? And what is success when your heart speaks to you? Because when that is clear, the discipline that you will give your children will equip them to thrive in their life doing the things that they love and loving the things that they do. So teach discipline for children to do what they are originally called for. Ibig sabihin ba, Coach, hindi ko sila papaluin? Of course. Biblically naman okay lang eh. You can spank them a little bit so that they learn. You can do that. Not just not just to the point that they don't understand why you're doing it. You need to explain. Kaya nga discipline eh. Teach discipline. Ituro kung bakit mo kinokorek, kung bakit mo dinidiscipline. Hindi lang pagpalo, sigaw, stop na. No, that's not discipline. Teach them. Lastly, number 3, give instructions. Ayan. The word instruction literally means to place before the mind. To place before the mind. What are you placing in the mind of your children? As a dad, what are you instilling to them? What are you showing them? Di ba, parenting is mirroring. Whatever you are, your children mirror. Like, I remember a time when my son, ako kasi yung suplado, ayoko nadidisturbo ako. Pag nadidisturbo ako, naiinis ako eh. Nagwawala ako. Parang, bakit mo ako inidisturbo? Nakafocus ako dito. Huwag ka nga magulo. And I see that with my son. My son is also like that. Na konti lang na iuutusan mo, nagagalit. Tapos iniisip ko, saan ba nanggaling yung ugaling yan? Tapos na-realize ko, ako pala yun. So, I'm giving instruction unintentionally where my son is following my behavior. And I realized I needed to change that. Because if I don't change that, the relationship that he will have in the future, either friends in the workplace, their spouses, their children, would be the same. And I needed to change that. I needed to be intentional about it. I needed to come in the space of humility that I need to change. Because the behavior will not serve them. It might be serving me right now, but it's not serving my greater good. It's not helping me. So please be mindful that when you're giving instruction, you're instilling something in the mind. It's at times this means to confront them, to tell them that, hey, you need to instruct them verbally on what they needs to do. Be clear. Yan. Yun ang give instruction. Or you need to regularly lead them in family devotions and in prayer. Yan is to give instruction. Like, how are you teaching your son, your daughter to pray? Are you teaching them how to pray? Hindi na nga kailangan doon na dapat magsimba sa inso or eh. As a dad, as a head of a family, are you teaching them to pray? Do they hear you praying? Because mirroring, when they hear you pray, they also start praying. Simple, but so effective that we seldom do. We also need to give instruction. We need to monitor and be responsible along with our wives. Di ba partner po yan, yung mga asawa po dito. It's a partnership between you and your husband to make sure that the inputs that you're doing will impress the mind to have the right kind of mindset for success, to thrive. So partnership. It's not just the father or the spouse or the wife that needs to give instruction. It's two of you. Giving instruction also is taking responsibility to help assure that they understand the experiences by processing their experience. Like every time your children experience something that's traumatic or, it's new to them, how do you process? Do you process their thoughts? Do you ask them questions so that they can, share it, they can speak it? Because a lot of times, why children goes into anxiety and depression because hindi nila ma-express. You know why? Because when they start expressing, the parents would tell them, "Wag ka nga maarte. Arte-arte mo. Eh kami nga nung bata, hindi naman kami ganyan." And now you wonder why your children don't talk to you. Because of that kind of feedback that most parents do. They fail to listen to understand. What they're very good at is to listen to respond. Imagine having a parent. Imagine if you are on the other side receiving that and saying, kanino ko sasabihin to? Sa ibang tao? Oh. That's the reason why they like to be more with their friends because their friends listen to them. But are they giving them the right instructions? So think about that. Above all, and here is where I really want you to focus your attention with me right now. If you're doing something, baba nyo muna. Giving instruction means that you need to open your book your lives to your children. Open the book of your life to your children. Demonstrate the reality of the instructions that you're giving them, that in everything that you do, it's not always going to be perfect. You're going to have some situation where it's going to be bothersome. You're going to experience where you're going to experience pain, suffering, rejections, all of those negative things. And you need to teach that early on. You need to instruct that so that they learn as they grow. Hindi they learn as they, di ba, natututo sila pag matanda na. You already have that wisdom and knowledge for you to teach your children. So why are we not teaching them? Why are we not giving them instructions? So that they understand. Not to force the instructions, to make them understand that if they do this will happen because you are a product of it. If you're not a product of it, maybe you've heard it with someone else, and that is okay too. So open your book. Allow your children to read you in that context. Para malaman nila kung ano yung buhay mo, para naiintindihan na ganun pala ang kailangan kong gawin. The dues of the father, pay attention to all of the dads out there, the dues of the father cannot be done by a proxy. It cannot be done by a proxy. Hindi pwede yung mga nanay ang gagawa ng father tasks on how to discipline your children. You need to do that. And you might say, Coach, wala ako dyan eh. Come on. This pandemic has taught us that the digital, tools can have a greater impact on our connection with other people. Use the digital platform. Take advantage. Hindi yung mag-aantay ka pa pag nakauwi ka or pag nagkita kayo. Don't. Every moment is an opportunity to teach. Because we don't know if we're gonna live in this world for a long time. Baka bukas, wala na tayo, di ba? So if you're given an opportunity now to change that. Make the change. Kasi kaya mo. And it's not for you. It's the future of the generation. Not just for your children, but their children and their children's children. Now, if you are in a space right now where you feel, Coach, I'm kind of lost. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Honestly, sa puso ko naman, gusto ko naman talaga tulungan yung mga anak ko. Pero it's been decades that I'm like this. Let me introduce you this program. It's called From Wandering to Wandering Coaching Program. What this program would allow you for the whole year, we're journey along and we'll talk about knowing yourself so that you can make better decisions. Gain clarity and know what you want to do in life. Because if you know what you want to do in life, you will help your children know what they want to do as well. You can guide them. You can instruct them. And 3 is keep focus. And be intentional where you invest your time, your money, and relationship. Because if you want to change the future of your children, you first need to change. Ikaw muna. Sasabihin mo, Coach, kumbaga I'm old already. I'm already in that space where everything is doing well. Oh, how about your children? You want them to change. But are you changing? Are you changing your ways? Are you changing your habits? Are you changing your mindsets? And are you changing your heart? Because your heart will drive that towards doing what's best for you and your children. Whatever happens, gagawin mo siya. So I'll leave you with these reflection questions. When you were growing up, what did you expect or want from your father growing up? You don't have to answer this. You can write this down or take a picture of it. Reflect on this. I tell you, it will be worthwhile. And when you answer that, did that happen? Why or why not did it not happen? Start writing them down, reflect on it. This would help you, allow you to put things in perspective so that you can make the right decision on how to change for your children. Next is, what do your children expect or want from you? Do you have a moment with them, talking to them and asking them, what do you expect? Like, what does a father figure look like? What does a mom look like? Oh, yeah, for the moms out there. And afterwards, is that happening? Why or why not? Because when you're able to do that, when you're able to put your space in a reflection, an awareness and reflection, it's automatic for you in your heart. Everyone has a pure of heart. Even at times we experience pain and suffering. That's why our heart, created that wall in there. But if you allow your heart to speak, because it deserves to speak, let it speak. Changing yourself and your future and the generation of the future and this world will be coming from the heart that you have. Because you have the power to do that. Sabi ko kanina, father there, the dads have the power to change the future. But you need to be expressive. You need to share. You need to talk to your spouse out there. Thank you for all of the spouses who talk to their husband. Even at times we cry. Ayan, my coach in there. I've shared my fair share of emotions and my challenges towards my father. But I've realized how important the learnings that I have growing up, that there's an opportunity for me to change my experience for my children. I cannot change my dad. My dad has done his part, his fair share of how, you know, to make me successful in my career and my relationship. But you have the power to change the experience of your children. And that is always going to be now. Not tomorrow, not later. Change is now. You have that control. You have been given that control. Choose the right channel for you and your children. All right? Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Mucha, thank you. Thank you. These pointers are related to moms as well. Great job, Coach. Salamat po. Each child is different from Joanna. Thank you. Maraming salamat. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Um, being a parent is not easy, but it's possible. Posible siya. Just go back to why you're doing what you're doing. Pag clear sa'yo why you're doing what you're doing, things will just be so, so, so joyful. And you will just be able to enjoy life. Even at times, it's not easy. It's challenging. Maybe your finances is not good. Your relationship is not good. But if you change your heart, everything will go smoothly and you will be blessed. I hope you receive the blessing. I hope that you continuously grow in your relationship. I hope that you're able to have that connection with your children so that they know that you love them and they love you in return. All right? So next week, I'm gonna talk about the discipline of men in friendship. Pag-usapan naman natin yung mga kaibigan natin out there. Something that I could help you next Friday at 10 a.m. If you are free next week, it's gonna be on Tuesday. I'm gonna talk about how to tame anger the right way. It's a coaching workshop. If there's no monetary investment, it's gonna be on February 23rd at 7 p.m. Just contact me at 0917-569-4200 or message me or just go to my page, Life Coach Shaun Joya, tapos mag-register kayo doon. Now, if you can tame your anger. Anger is not an issue. If you want to gain more time, I would invite you on a coaching workshop. This is going to be on February 26th on a Friday at 4 p.m. I'm going to teach you there how to plan and prioritize each day efficiently and productively, how to plan your meetings more effectively, and understand your time waster. For these two workshops, I'm going to give you something special in there. I'm going to give you a gift in there. So if you join the whole class, it's just a 1.5 or 2 hours class. It doesn't require a lot of time. So just message me if you want to join there. I'll send you the link so that you can register. So thank you very much for joining me. You can contact me at 0917-569-4200 if you have any questions, or email me at coachshaundihoya@gmail.com. And of course, in behalf, as we end the day's episode, let me invite you also to visit our coaching hub. It's at Decap Copy Republic. Mucha, if you are free, grab Jojo, go there, just message us. Punta kayo ng Decap Copy Republic. It's located at the Pioneer Center compound along Pioneer Road, corner Bixton and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. It's just in front of Bayanihan Center. So pag pupunta kayo doon, just grab some coffee. We're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Pwede din sila mag-set ng meeting doon if they want. But our virtual operations is 24 by 7. We offer coaching services on demand. If you need coaching services, if you need to talk to a life coach, if you want to, work on improving your life, just message Coach Rizal 0917-586-1661 for your coaching needs. So thank you very much for joining me today. It has been a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy your Friday morning. I'll be back again next week, same time, same channel or same page. Thank you very much. Love, bam, boom, love, bam, boom, love, bam, boom. See you. Bye bye.